Hey there, VC. It's Dennis back with another video. This time it's just kind of a quick vinyl finds. Place a few, well, one larger order and then a couple of smaller ones here. Not everything's come in that I'm expecting, but kind of wanted to get this done before things kind of got too stale. Forgot about it. I wanted to put everything away. Now, I mentioned before in other videos, I'm just going to hop kind of right in. I'm not a huge fan of 7 inches, 7-inch records. But I recently made an order through Third Man Records. And the main thing I wanted to get was just one of those groove washers. It was a good price. I'm a TMR fanboy a little bit, so it's kind of branded on there too. I don't have that with me. It's all with the rest of the record stuff, but picked that up and I was looking through the catalog and there was a couple of things I wanted to get, and just kind of help fill things out. It's like, okay, well, let me pick up some of these 7 inches, try out either some of the bands or start filling in some gaps. And first up, I think I talked about this in either the last video or the quarantine video. I know it was the quarantine video that I talked about this band in. But Algebra Mothers, or A-Moms, Third Man also came out with a 7-inch by the A-Moms. The A-side Strawberry Cheesecake, backed with Modern Noise, which really doesn't mean much to anybody, right? Small time band out of Detroit, never really made it big. But I just double checked on the website to make sure that the album I showed was still available on there, and it is. And then I noticed this, so use that to kind of complete the A-Moms collection. Unless I were to stumble upon the actual, old school 45. Next up, I've been trying to fill in some holes in my funk collection a little bit, as I think about it or as I come across them. And there's a big hole with like this area, I suppose. But next one is the Rockfire Funk Express, also from Detroit, Michigan. The A side is People Save the World. B side is Rockfire Funk Express. Now, if you look at those names, the Hackney Brothers, I believe these were only the only 2 songs this band ever actually put out. It had some airtime, I guess, but they would go on to form the funk band Death. I believe it was the Florida-based death metal band Death, but the Detroit area Death, which is a couple albums there I need to remember to pick up next time I make any sort of an order somewhere. Yeah, all these I haven't really listened to. This one I did just because I googled it just to see what it sounded like and all that. But Jack White and the Electric Mayhem. This is from the recent, I believe it was ABC Muppet Show, the final episode. It contains 2 covers. One features the Muppets, one's just Jack and the band, of Stevie Wonder's "You Are the Sunshine of My Life." And from the show, it was really good. And then the final 45, and I have one full album here, also from that I ordered from Third Man, but it's Austin, Texas, Ghost Wolves. It's a female fronted band. This came out in 2019. They've been a band since about 2011, I guess. And so I have the Third Man page up here. It's like a rock and roll, punk, garage, blues sort of band. And I didn't want to pick up a full album. I just wanted to sample them. Figured, the song that they have up here, which is Crooked Cop, which is the A side. Nope. Oh, sorry. So, yep, Crooked Cop is on side A. And side B is Fist, and track 2 is Day Will Follow Dawn. And the story here on Third Man is also that apparently these songs kind of came together when let's see here, one of the members of the band, his father received a terminal cancer diagnosis. So it was, he was with his father up in Connecticut, and kind of writing songs, demoing songs in the meantime, and this is what kind of came out of that. And then the last thing from Third Man, I haven't spun this yet either. I've been doing some more spring cleaning and stuff, but it's it's a band also from Detroit. They've been around since the early 90s. I believe this was their third album. Third EP. I can't remember. It's fourth. Nope, it's their fifth or sixth. Whatever, not that important. It's the Henchmen. And they briefly featured Jack White as part of the band. He played the bass. I believe he played most of the bass. Yeah. Oh, sorry. So he played guitar on 2 songs, and on the rest of them he played bass. And I sampled a little bit from the earlier days, kind of on through. I don't think I could find this exact album, like on Spotify or anything. And it's pretty good. They have that kind of garage rock punk sort of feel to them. Next up, made an order through Mondo. Specifically, I bought a record for my girlfriend that they were just releasing, I believe, that day. For her, I picked up the Jurassic Park soundtrack score. It was Raptor Egg wax. Really neat looking. Look it up on their website if you can. And then Mondo produced some great soundtracks, and I have their Fifth Element from them, one of my favorite movies of all time. And I was looking through, and I haven't seen this movie yet. I haven't seen the originals. I've been wanting to watch them. But I listened to some of the tracks off of this, and it's very funky. And it's I believe it was Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, Craig Robinson. Dolomite Is My Name soundtrack from that. The tracks that I sampled here, they sounded just like you would expect from the early mid-70s sort of funk and blaxploitation sort of movie scene. Which, if you don't know, Dolomite was a series of movies back then that started out one way and ended up like him fighting Shaolin monks or something. A little bit crazy. Okay, next up, I'm sure most of you guys are aware if you ordered anything through Bandcamp before, but for the last couple months, and then coming up the first Friday in June, the first Friday of the month, of the last few months, Bandcamp's been waiving all of their cut of whatever people order from the website. It goes directly to the bands. So there's a couple of things in the backlog that I got last month, I believe, and then no, sorry, not the first month they did it, back in April. But this month there was a couple of things that were on the queue that I got. I got a couple of things in. A couple aren't going to be shipping until like next month. I might reach out to the guy. I've talked to him before, seen him live a few times too. But this album I actually did listen to the other day. The band's called the Memphis Morticians. Dial in for Mortician. I mean, if this cover isn't eye-catching, I don't know what to tell you. And so it has this little blue tape up here. Normally, it was just on black wax, but then they released, I believe it was only, let's see here. Yeah, so 50 copies were made with this blue vinyl. And I want to say there was only about 500 copies total with black. Or between the two. So this nice little blue color. I don't want to take it all the way out. But I just want to show this label. Sorry. I mean, that is sick, right? So this edition of 50 is like, it's, one of 50, and then I want to say, like I said, the whole production for the whole album, Black and Blue, was 500. So it's 1 of 50 out of 500, I guess. But anyways, Memphis Morticians is just a rockabilly group. They must be based out of Nashville, I want to say. Or Memphis. That make way more sense, right? Than Nashville. I mean, it's excellent. I mean, it's a modern rockabilly band, so you kind of know what you're gonna get out of it, right? If you listen to, Stray Cats or Brian Setzer's Orchestra, anything like that, there's no big surprises with its album. It's solid all the way through. I do highly recommend getting this. The only downside with getting it through Bandcamp is most of the time you get like the digital album that you can listen to through your profile, or sometimes they'll send you an extra code to get it elsewhere or what have you. But this is vinyl only. There's no digital tracks with it, which is kind of the only downside to it, and I'm not quite sure why they did it that way. And then the last thing that I've got so far through Bandcamp is another female-fronted group. This album is a few years old. I'm looking on their site right now, or on their Bandcamp release, and I can't quite tell. 2014. Okay. So the first thing that got me was the cover of this album, and taking a look at it a little bit more. It also has a partial cover of "Don't Want to Be Sedated," or "Do Rah Ron" and "Don't Want to Be Sedated." But I'm not going to show the cover for too long, but because it has two rabbits doing what rabbits do on it. But it's a band called the Dolly Rots, Barefoot and Pregnant, and it's also signed by the two members of the band. I believe it was only two members. Yep, and that album was only like $5 extra, so why the hell not? It's fun. Here's the back. It was shipped like this. There wasn't any thing on it. It comes on this translucent pink, which matches with the female rabbit's shirt, dress, whatever the hell you want to call it. There's some like deeper colors in there too. You can kind of tell on camera. And then there's a little black flake in the right there. I don't know if there it is. I saw that. It looks like it's embedded in the wax. But having sampled the music, of course, before buying it, the band it's punkish. They kind of describe themselves as pop punk, which they are. I mean, it certainly feels punkish. It's that, pop punk, I suppose. That kind of early to mid aughts into the teens era of kind of punkish music. I think it's a lot of fun. I think if it was sang by a male vocalist, it wouldn't be that great. But her voice sounds great. It's great for the music. I'm not a huge pop punk fan. Of course, I listened to it a bit when I was in school, because that was kind of when it came up. But, yeah. Next up is an order through enjoy the ride. Um, I actually haven't opened this thing up yet either. But I got an email from this I don't know, a month or so ago, whenever the heck they announced it, and I vaguely remember hearing about this band. There was only a couple of songs that I could find to even sample them, but so I basically went completely blind. Excuse me, but I'm a fan of the franchise. I'm a huge fan of the movie this is based off of. But it's the Cybertronic Spree Transformers in 1985. So in case you're not familiar, the Cybertronic Spree is a band who dresses up like various Transformer characters and performs live on stage. And this is supposedly based off of the 1985 Transformers movie, the G1 movie, which me and my cousin, growing up, we'd watch this movie to death. That and The Sandlot, just two of our most favorite movies of all time growing up. And it was a Cybertronic Swirl. It's like a blue, pink, and white. There's pictures up on Discogs, and I'm sure still on Enjoy the Ride. Yeah, like I said, I haven't cracked this thing open, haven't listened to it yet. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm a sucker for kind of gimmicks like this, especially when they're good. But there's no way I was gonna pass this up. And then finally, I just got this in today. I just found out about this maybe like 6 months ago. I've had the CD for ages. And I'm not. I was trying to remember how I found out about this band. And I want to say it showed up. One of their songs showed up on either on like a Pandora station, or I was bored late one night and turned on like MTV Classics when they had like their 90s block of music. And the song Bandito showed up. And it was catchy and it was good. And I kind of looked into the band a little bit more. And this is kind of before Spotify and stuff. So I found a couple of songs I could listen to, and it was good. And but they only put out like 2 albums, I want to say, at the time. And they were relatively obscure. But I'd gone into my local used record store. It was mostly a CD store. They had a lot of records and cassettes and stuff, but at the time it was mainly CDs. This was kind of before the big vinyl resurgence, before they had closed. And I found the CD there, and I bought it. And I don't think the thing left my car unless it was to rip it onto my computer, and so I could listen to it in the house a lot easier. But it's the Refreshments, Fizzy Fuzzy, Big and Buzzy. This thing just, again, I haven't listened to this yet. The plan is to listen to it either tonight or tomorrow, after the girlfriend gets home. I've been really excited to show her the album. I've played a couple songs for her, like in the car on playlists and stuff. But yeah, I'm so happy that they reissued this. I hope they reissue their second album too, because the band, let me see something really quick. Refreshments. Okay, so they only put out. They put out 2 studio albums, like an independent album, an EP, and a set of demos. But their other album was, so this was released in 1996, and the next year in 97, they released The Bottle and Fresh Horses, which is also good. It's just that, like, you know how it is, you get stuck on one album, you're like, this is amazing, so you listen to another one, and even if it's good, it's kind of forgettable. And I just haven't really gone back and given Bottle and Fresh Horses another try. It's been a while. So it looks like, looking on Fizzy Fuzzy's Wikipedia page, they actually, this is the first time it was ever on vinyl. Um, it was for their 20th anniversary. The band, so the band's no longer together, but the lead singer and the lead singer, rhythm guitar, harmonica, kazoo player, and the drummer went on to form the band Roger Klein of the Peacemakers. And they are still going on. And when you look at some of their live shows and live albums, it features Refreshment songs. And let me tell you, the guy still has it. I mean, he sounds exactly the same as he did in 95, 96, right? When this album was first recorded and produced. Which is saying something. I mean, it's 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago now. There's not that many bands from that era that sound exactly the same. I mean, I saw Gin Blossoms in 2012, right after I graduated from college. Actually, the day that I graduated from college, they were here in town, and you could tell it was the same guy, but didn't quite have the same power behind his voice. But this dude still has it, and so the main song that came off of this album was called Banditos. It was the biggest that the band had. But then the band's also known for the theme song from King of the Hill, which is not on either of the two albums. But it's, just pointing out there. If you've never heard the band, you've probably heard the band because of the King of the Hill theme. But let me tell you, right from top to bottom, starting with Blue Collar Suicide, going down to Nada on the last album of the track, just killer. It's pretty much all killer, no fillers, as far as I remember. Super catchy songs. It's, on Wikipedia, which sometimes is good to use to describe it. To me, it's just good 90s alternative rock, or maybe falling into a little bit of the college rock of the era. On here, they call it alt rock, comedy rock, which some of the lyrics are kind of funny, and jangle pop. And I know one of the members of the VC, Hannah, Omaha Introvert, is a big jangle pop fan. So, I mean, maybe she would have a better handle whether this is jangle pop, but I mean, it's just good. When I ordered this through Amazon, it was only 10. It said there was like 10 copies left. I'm sure it's available elsewhere too. They said that they're getting more in stock. But do yourself a favor and try to get a hold of this. Or at least give it a spin on Spotify. It's just fantastic. I love this song, or I love this album. I'm surprised I didn't wear the CD out, to tell you the truth. But that's it. Like I said, I have a couple more things coming in. I just reached out to one of the artists through Bandcamp. I'd ordered something at the end of March, and it still hasn't gotten here, but it was coming from the UK. And with everything that's going on, I was giving the benefit of the doubt because it said it was supposed to be delivered on like right around the 20th of April. Still hasn't shown up, but with everything that's going on, plus international shipping, I figured it was going to take a little while. So we're working through that, and then there's a couple other little albums I'm waiting for through my Bandcamp order. And the Third Man Vault's gonna be shipping here pretty soon. For the White Stripes there, so it's expecting a few good things here in the next couple weeks, hopefully. But I don't know if I'll be talking about that or not. But hope you liked the video. Thank you for the couple new subscribers I got since the last video. Appreciate it. And let me know in the comments if you have any of these albums, what you think of them, the whole 9 yards, and I will see you next time.